Ray Leonard grew up poor in Palmer Park, Maryland. The introverted young man grew up watching and emulating the iconic Muhammad Ali. Ray Leonard was given the nickname that recalled the greatest fighter of all time. He wasn't the first Sugar Ray, and he wouldn't be the last. But after his incredible showing in the '76 Olympics, even Ray Robinson blessed his use of the Sugar moniker. As his signature hand speed left his opponents unable to keep up, Ray won his gold medal. Soon, Ray put down another signature, this time on a $40,000 contract to make his professional debut. As always, click that like button and subscribe to stay up to the minute on all sweet science. When Ray hits the pros, the entire marketing power of boxing was behind him. Muhammad Ali was no longer able to shoulder the load of the superstar. Ray Leonard fit the bill so well that he even hooked up with Ali's old trainer, Angelo Dundee. Considering his speed, power, and style, Ray was a hot commodity. An easygoing personality made him just as marketable outside the ring.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you next Thursday night with Muhammad Ali. But this kid in his weight classification looks like he's got the potential to be another. Good luck to you. Oh.
He looks like he belongs on a Wheaties box and fought with lightning in his hands. As Ray turns pro, it took some time for him to find his footing. Soon enough, the sensational knockouts came rolling in. Ray was matched with 30-fight veteran Frank Santor in just his fourth fight, a sink-or-swim test for the young Olympian. Ray's speed and athletic talent more than made up for his lack of professional experience.
Fight your fight. Keep fighting. Use that left. And occasionally the right lead that's been so good.
Rocked Santor in the second. A right hand fell short, and Ray counters with his own, timing a left hook that shook Santor for the first time.
He was off balance, but he was jolted back.
It wouldn't be the last.
And staggered by a left. No question, Santor was staggered by a left there. Another knockdown from the right. Another knockdown from the right. Shuffle. And Santor holding on at the knee.
A tripled right hand put Frankie down for good in round 5. Needless to say, knockouts are good for business.
Over. Sugar Ray Leonard has knocked out Frank Santor. Angelo Dundee hugs him.
He would have his first bump into boxing history when he came up against Floyd Mayweather Jr. The father had a bit in common with his son. He was the first opponent who could match Ray's hand speed, and he used a version of the vaunted Philly shell defense.
Mayweather putting up a good scrap thus far. See the countdown to the end.
Ray's left hook to the body played the biggest role in dropping Floyd Sr.'s hands and slowing him down. Ray flurried on an often inactive, though blisteringly fast Mayweather. By round 8, Floyd Sr. was spent and beaten. Sugar Ray scored a knockdown off of a heavy left hook, then spent the rest of the round smashing him.
And Ray would like to finish him off. He almost went down then from a left. The shove. Now the flurry combination. Martin Tabor is giving him a standing 8 count.
Ray got his first title shot against a man who would make Ray do something he hated: wait. Puerto Rican prodigy Wilfred Benitez was the youngest ever world champion. His low-volume defensive style is virtually impossible to look good against. The rounds passed with Ray coming out slightly the better in a tepid affair, with Benitez on legs tired of retreating.
It's being kept lower and lower as fatigue begins to overtake him.
The long-awaited war broke out. With just 30 seconds left, Ray catches Wilfred flat-footed with a left hook.
He got him down again.
Dazed and bloodied, Ray finished him off with just 5 seconds remaining in the fight. Ray made his first million, and so did Benitez. The first time in history, two non-heavyweights cracked $1 million payday for a single fight. His first defense of his championship was the most beautiful one-shot KO of his entire career. Davey Boy Green of England was a heavy-handed power puncher. He was tough and determined, and given then an opportunity of a lifetime. But from the opening bell, he was just plain too slow. Ray Leonard crackled off like a human fireworks display. For 4 rounds, Ray was about as perfect as a boxer can look. The grand finale came when a combination that ended in a left hook ended the night for Davey. All this before going to war with a generation of all-time greats dubbed the Fab Four. His first encounter came against the feral Panamanian Roberto Duran. Duran was 71-1, coming into what would become known as the Brawl in Montreal. Ray Leonard's Olympic homecoming was spoiled as Roberto put on one of the finest performances in boxing history. Roberto got the win, but Ray took home boxing's first 8-figure paycheck and demanded his rematch.
With Roberto Duran last year, Sugar Ray Leonard grossed nearly $18 million. He made about $1.5 billion more than the Ford Motor Company.
He completely altered his style and proceeded to clown Roberto with his hit and run tactics. Roberto utters the two most infamous words in boxing history: no mas, quitting in frustration. The second of the Four Kings proved his tallest hill to climb. Tommy Hearns was a physical freak, 6'2", and somehow able to make 147 pounds. He was fast, smart, and a legendary puncher. His first fight with Hearns was a chess match, one Ray found himself losing. This led to one of the most famous corner speeches in history.
9 minutes. You're blowing it now, son. You're blowing it. Okay, put the ices back.
And one of the most unexpected come-from-behind KOs of all time. Ray's prime was ended by an elbow that detached his retina while training for the rematch. Ray underwent surgery and retired. He came back for one last big job. The fourth king was an angry stump from Brockton, 160-pound champion, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Was champ for 7 years, stopped 10 of 11 challengers. Hagler was confident. He gave Ray every advantage to try and lure him back into the ring. In one of the single most controversial fights of all time, Sugar Ray was given the nod by split decision, with one card lopsided in Sugar Ray's favor. He retired, the only man to hold a win over the other three kings. With his final retirement in 1997, Ray Leonard had set another financial milestone in boxing. He was the first fighter to ever retire with over $100 million in his bank account. Not bad for a poor kid from Palmer Park. As always, click that like button and subscribe to stay up to the minute on all sweet science.